Val Kilmer, a star who shone brightly before Hollywood turned its back. Behind the fame lies a story of struggle, loss, and resilience. What happens when the spotlight fades and the world you knew no longer remembers your name? Let's dive into his story in this video. The untold story of Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer might have made Iceman a household name, but surprisingly, he hated the role at first. On screen, he seemed like the perfect Hollywood leading man, but behind the scenes, Kilmer's life was marked by tragedy and turbulence. Born into a family of 3 boys, Val, his older brother, and his younger brother had a relatively stable upbringing until everything changed in 1968 when their parents divorced. At just 9 years old, Val moved in with his father, a man he later described as emotionally distant. The split left deep scars on young Val, who admitted he never truly processed the pain. "I was quiet, more contemplative than outgoing," he told The Telegraph. "Things didn't go well between me and my father for a very long time." The rift only deepened after his father's passing in the mid-1990s, leading to bitter disputes with his older brother over their father's estate. But amidst the chaos, one silver lining emerged. Shortly after his parents' divorce, Val discovered acting, a passion that allowed him to channel his struggles into art. It wasn't just an escape. It was the beginning of a career that would eventually catapult him to stardom. Even so, his story remains a haunting reminder that the brightest stars often shine from the darkest places. Early struggles. Val Kilmer's journey as an actor wasn't paved with early triumphs. It was filled with struggles, even from a young age. His first audition wasn't for a blockbuster role, but for a simple hamburger commercial. And yet, even at 12 years old, Kilmer's commitment to his craft was uncompromising. A budding method actor, he couldn't bring himself to believe in the burgers, and as a result, he walked off the set, unable to deliver a performance that satisfied his own high standards. "I just couldn't say the lines," Kilmer later reflected. "If I didn't believe what my character was saying, I couldn't play the part." For most kids, it might have been just a silly commercial, but for Kilmer, it was a matter of principle. Unsurprisingly, he didn't land the role, a blow to any aspiring young actor. But Kilmer wasn't like most kids. With years of drama classes already behind him, he had a strong sense of himself and his artistic integrity, even at such a young age. Little did he know, this unyielding dedication to authenticity would become both his greatest asset and a source of personal struggle as he carved out a place for himself in Hollywood. A tragic loss and a new beginning. At just 17 years old, Val Kilmer faced an unimaginable tragedy when his younger brother Wesley, who suffered from epilepsy, drowned during a seizure in their swimming pool. Losing Wesley wasn't just heartbreaking. It was a defining moment in Kilmer's young life, marking the second major loss after his parents' divorce 8 years earlier. It was a wound that would never fully heal, yet it also became a turning point in his journey. Despite the devastating loss, Kilmer found a way to channel his grief. That same year, he earned a place at the prestigious Juilliard School in New York City, becoming the youngest student ever admitted at the time. It was a remarkable achievement for someone carrying so much pain, but Kilmer's drive and talent wouldn't allow him to stop. Though meaningful success on stage and screen was still years away, Kilmer's time at Juilliard set the foundation for a career defined by intensity, depth, and an unwavering commitment to his craft. Even as he mourned his brother, Kilmer was forging ahead, turning personal tragedy into the passion that would one day make him a star. How do you think Val Kilmer's tragic loss shaped the artist he became? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. A marriage torn apart by fame and method acting. Val Kilmer and actress Joanne Whalley's love story began on the set of Willow in 1988. But their fairy tale romance quickly turned into a cautionary tale of Hollywood relationships. The couple married, welcomed 2 children, daughter Mercedes and son Jack, but their union was fraught with tension and mistrust. By 1996, their marriage dissolved in a bitter divorce, fueled by rumors of Kilmer's infidelity and his growing devotion to his craft, sometimes at the expense of his personal life. Wally suspected Kilmer of having an affair, and tabloids like the Daily Mail speculated that he was courting supermodel Cindy Crawford even as his marriage was crumbling. Kilmer later admitted his obsession with method acting during his role as Jim Morrison in The Doors contributed to the downfall. "I spent a year living as if I were Jim," he said, reflecting on how the intensity of his transformation alienated those around him. The divorce took a dramatic turn when Wally had papers served to Kilmer on the set of The Island of Dr. Moreau, a production notorious for on-set conflicts. Director John Frankenheimer later quipped, "I will never climb Mount Everest, and I will never work with Val Kilmer again." For Kilmer, the combination of professional strife and personal heartbreak during this period painted a vivid picture of a man whose dedication to his art often clashed with the realities of life off-screen. The double-edged sword of Val Kilmer's perfectionism. By the mid-1990s, Val Kilmer was one of Hollywood's biggest stars, with iconic roles in Top Gun, Heat, and Batman Forever. But behind the box office success was a troubling reputation. Kilmer had become known as one of the hardest actors to work with in the industry. In 1996, Entertainment Weekly even ran an article titled, "Val Kilmer Makes Enemies in Hollywood," pointing out that many directors and co-stars avoided him despite his undeniable talent and box office appeal. Kilmer's dedication to his craft often bordered on obsession. Known for his method acting, he threw himself entirely into every role, but his commitment came at a cost. He earned a reputation for being difficult, which likely cost him major opportunities despite his multi-million-dollar paychecks. Reflecting on his behavior in the documentary Val, Kilmer admitted, "I have behaved poorly. I have behaved bravely, bizarrely to some. I see myself as a sensitive, intelligent human being, but with the soul of a clown." It's a tragic irony. Kilmer's unrelenting pursuit of artistic excellence seemed to alienate those around him. His on-screen brilliance often masked off-screen struggles, a stark reminder that even the most gifted performers can be haunted by their own drive for perfection. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Val Kilmer's story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Hollywood insights. From Batman to tabloid target. By the late 2000s, Val Kilmer found himself under an unflattering spotlight, not for his iconic roles, but for his changing appearance. The actor, once admired for his chiseled looks in Top Gun and Batman Forever, had gained noticeable weight, a natural part of aging for most, but a public spectacle for someone of his stature. The tabloids were merciless. In 2007, the Daily Mail ran a mocking headline, "Val Kilmer goes from Batman to Fat Man," reducing a Hollywood legend to a punchline in the cruel arena of celebrity gossip. Determined to reclaim his health, Kilmer took steps to turn things around. Living in Malibu, he began taking long walks along the beach and adopted a healthier diet. Slowly but surely, his efforts paid off. By the mid-2010s, he had successfully slimmed down and returned to a healthier weight. Yet the media's tone remained harsh. Instead of celebrating his transformation, they found new ways to criticize. In 2014, the same tabloid published another demeaning headline, "Gaunt Val Kilmer reveals dramatically shrinking frame while shopping at Levi's in Malibu." The narrative had shifted, but the underlying cruelty remained the same. For Kilmer, this cycle of public scrutiny highlighted the relentless pressures of life in the spotlight. While his weight gain and subsequent weight loss were personal journeys, they became fodder for ridicule and invasive commentary. Through it all, Kilmer's resilience shone as he focused on his health and continued to pursue his passion for acting, even as the world watched and judged every step of the way. His story is a testament to the double-edged sword of fame, where personal struggles are rarely private, and every change becomes a public spectacle. Heartache and Lost Loves. Val Kilmer's reflections on relationships. Val Kilmer's life has been a tapestry of great loves and profound heartaches, starting with the pain of his parents' divorce when he was just a child. As he navigated fame and fortune, love became both a solace and a source of anguish. One of his earliest high-profile relationships was with Cher in the 1980s. Despite their 13-year age gap, the connection was undeniable. Reflecting on their bond in his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, Kilmer wrote, "Once Cher works her way inside your head and heart, she never leaves. For her true friends, her steadfast love and loyalty never die." Kilmer's marriage to actress Joanne Whalley, the mother of his two children, Mercedes and Jack, was another chapter in his complex romantic history. While their love story ended in a bitter divorce, the bond they once shared left a lasting imprint on his life. Yet Kilmer revealed that his most painful breakup wasn't with Whalley or Cher, but with actress Daryl Hannah. Their brief but passionate relationship flourished in the secluded serenity of Kilmer's New Mexico property while filming Hard Cash. In his memoir, he confessed, "Lord knows I've suffered heartache, but Daryl was by far the most painful of all." The wound deepened when, years later, Hannah married legendary singer Neil Young. In his book, Kilmer didn't hold back his feelings, adding, "Neil Young, I always loved you, but I'm afraid I hate you now." Kilmer's reflections on love, whether it was the enduring friendship of Cher, the bittersweet memories of Whalley, or the heartbreak of losing Hannah, reveal the vulnerability of a man who loved deeply and lost profoundly. Even amidst his battles with throat cancer and personal challenges, these loves remain etched into the fabric of his life, a testament to both his capacity for devotion and the pain that comes with it. A voice. Silenced. Val Kilmer's battle with throat cancer. Val Kilmer's voice was as much a part of his identity as his on-screen charisma. From his magnetic performance as Jim Morrison in The Doors to his unforgettable quips as Iceman in Top Gun, his voice was iconic. But in the mid-2010s, that unmistakable voice was forever altered when Kilmer began a private battle with throat cancer. For several years, he kept his diagnosis out of the public eye, quietly enduring grueling treatments. It wasn't until 2017 that Kilmer revealed his struggle during a Reddit AMA, using cryptic language to describe his recovery as a healing of cancer. The reality behind those words was far more harrowing. Kilmer underwent 2 tracheotomies, chemotherapy, and years of recovery. These invasive procedures saved his life, but cost him his natural voice, leaving him with a mechanical rasp and the need for voice assistance technology. Even as of 2021, Kilmer described himself as still recovering from the ordeal. For a man who built his career on being heard, losing his voice was more than a physical loss. It was a profound personal challenge. Despite this, Kilmer's resilience shines through. He continues to connect with his fans, sharing his journey in the documentary Val and proving that even in silence, his presence remains as powerful as ever. His story is one of survival, a reminder that even Hollywood's brightest stars are not immune to life's toughest battles. Chronically Lonely, the hidden struggle of Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer, a man who once shared the screen with Hollywood's biggest stars and was romantically linked to some of the most iconic women of his era, has spent much of his life in the public eye. Yet, beneath the glittering facade of fame, Kilmer harbors a profound and enduring loneliness. In his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, he admits, "I am lonely part of every day." Despite his storied past, Kilmer reveals that he has not had a girlfriend in over 2 decades, a gap that only deepened his sense of isolation. This prolonged solitude was particularly poignant during his battle with throat cancer, a time when the support of a close romantic partner might have offered comfort. Instead, Kilmer faced the ordeal largely on his own, a testament to both his resilience and the toll that loneliness can take. However, through these difficult years, Kilmer found solace in strengthening his bond with his children, Mercedes and Jack. Their unwavering support played a crucial role in his life and were instrumental in helping him create the deeply personal documentary Val. While his loneliness remains a part of his daily life, Kilmer's connection with his family and his enduring passion for his craft have provided him with moments of purpose and connection in a world that often feels far too quiet. Can you imagine facing such loneliness, especially during life's toughest battles? Share your perspective with us in the comments. Initially hated Iceman, Val Kilmer's surprising take on his iconic role. Val Kilmer's portrayal of Iceman in Top Gun is legendary, cool, confident, and unforgettable. But behind the scenes, Kilmer wasn't exactly thrilled about the role. In his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, he confessed that he found the script silly and tried to tank his audition by reading the lines with complete indifference. To his surprise, he landed the role anyway. I felt more deflated than inflated, Kilmer recalled, reflecting on how little enthusiasm he had for the project at the time. Despite his initial disdain, Kilmer's performance as Iceman became one of the most iconic characters of the 1980s, solidifying his place in Hollywood history. Ironically, this wasn't the only time Kilmer felt disconnected from a high-profile project. He described his experience on Batman Forever as feeling like a puppet in a bat costume, adding to the list of roles he struggled to embrace despite their massive cultural impact. Kilmer's journey as an actor, as highlighted in the 2021 documentary Val, reveals the complexities of balancing artistic integrity with blockbuster success. While he may have started off hating the role of Iceman, it became a cornerstone of his career, a testament to the unpredictable ways an actor's legacy can unfold. A family affair, how Val Kilmer's kids helped create Val. Val Kilmer's documentary Val offers an intimate, raw look at his life, blending private and public footage that spans decades. Described as a heart-filled look at what it means to be an artist, the film gives audiences unparalleled insight into Kilmer's journey. But what makes it truly special is the role his children, Jack and Mercedes, played in its creation. With Kilmer having lost his natural voice to throat cancer, it's Jack's voice narrating the documentary, seamlessly channeling his father's words in a poignant and deeply personal way. Beyond narration, Jack and Mercedes were instrumental in combing through over 800 hours of footage from their father's archives to bring his story to life. They also appear in the film, offering their own perspectives and ensuring their father's legacy is captured with authenticity and love. Their involvement didn't end with production. Jack and Mercedes actively promoted the documentary, turning it into not just a film about a Hollywood legend, but a testament to the bond between a father and his children. Val isn't just a story of Val Kilmer's artistry, it's a family's tribute to his life, resilience, and enduring impact. Val Kilmer, a meteoric rise, a controversial fall. In 1995, Val Kilmer stood at the pinnacle of Hollywood. With Top Gun, The Doors, and Tombstone under his belt, he solidified his reputation as one of the most promising actors of his generation. That year, he starred alongside Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in the crime epic Heat, and donned the cape as the iconic Batman in Batman Forever. Kilmer was everywhere, the face of both critical acclaim and blockbuster success. Yet, just a decade later, Kilmer's career had taken a sharp turn. By the mid-2000s, he was appearing almost exclusively in direct-to-DVD films, a stark contrast to his earlier dominance. His fall from grace was one of the fastest and most talked about in Hollywood. In 2021, the documentary Val shed light on his life, his love for acting, and his battle with throat cancer, which robbed him of his voice. However, the film largely glossed over a key chapter in his career, the controversies that led to his reputation as a prima donna. To understand Kilmer's trajectory, it's essential to revisit his roots. Born in Los Angeles in 1959, Kilmer's love for acting was evident from an early age. Alongside his younger brother Wesley, he created short remakes of popular films, with Wesley directing. Kilmer's talent earned him a spot at Juilliard's prestigious drama division, making him the youngest person ever admitted. But his world was shattered in 1977 when Wesley, just 15, tragically drowned in a jacuzzi after an epileptic seizure. The loss profoundly impacted Kilmer and became a driving force behind his commitment to his craft. Despite his meteoric rise, Kilmer's career trajectory was marred by rumors of difficult behavior on set. His uncompromising dedication to roles often alienated directors and co-stars, earning him a reputation as someone hard to work with. This, coupled with box office disappointments and increasingly controversial projects, eventually led Hollywood to turn its back on him. Want to see more stories about iconic actors like Val Kilmer? Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Val Kilmer, from breakthroughs to battles behind the scenes. After the devastating loss of his brother Wesley, his partner in creative pursuits, Kilmer poured his energy into acting. At Juilliard, he helped found a playwriting program and showcased his versatility on stage. By 1983, he was sharing the spotlight with Kevin Bacon and Sean Penn in Slab Boys, cementing his theater credentials. His big screen debut came in 1984 with the comedic spy spoof Top Secret, where Kilmer not only starred but also performed his character's songs and even released an album under the character's name. A year later, he followed it with Real Genius, another comedy, but it was Top Gun in 1986 that launched him into the Hollywood stratosphere. As Iceman, Tom Cruise's cocky rival, Kilmer became a household name, though he initially found the script silly and wasn't eager to star in a war-themed movie. Despite his reservations, contractual obligations led him to take the role, and the film's massive success catapulted him into stardom. In 1988, Kilmer starred in Willow, where he met Joanne Whalley, his future wife and the eventual mother of his 2 children. But despite his growing fame, Kilmer hustled for his next big roles. He famously created his own audition tapes for Full Metal Jacket and Goodfellas, even hand-delivering them, efforts that didn't land him the roles. His big breakthrough came in 1991 with The Doors, where he embodied Jim Morrison with an almost eerie accuracy. Kilmer immersed himself in Morrison's persona, spending nearly a year rehearsing songs, dressing the part, and haunting the singer's old hangouts. His transformation was so intense that he sought psychiatric help afterward to shed Morrison's influence. While The Doors showcased his range and dedication, whispers of Kilmer's difficult behavior began to emerge. On Tombstone, 1993, where he delivered one of his most beloved performances as Doc Holliday, producers noted his professionalism, but the film's original director hinted at a darker side. He shared a peculiar anecdote where Kilmer, in a discussion about his character, grabbed and ate a locust, quipping, "I have a reputation for being difficult, but only with stupid people." Kilmer's relentless drive for authenticity and his intense methods made him a standout performer, but they also planted the seeds for his controversial reputation. Batman Forever and the chaos that followed. Val Kilmer's journey with Batman Forever, 1995, marked both a career high and a harbinger of chaos that would define the latter half of his Hollywood trajectory. Landing the role of Batman seemed like a dream come true for Kilmer, who reportedly signed on without even reading the script or vetting the production team. However, his time on set was anything but dreamy. Director Joel Schumacher was warned not to hire Kilmer due to his growing reputation for being difficult. Despite these warnings, Schumacher took the risk, only to find himself in one of the most challenging productions of his career. Kilmer's on-set behavior clashed with nearly everyone, first assistant directors, cameramen, costume designers, and even Schumacher himself. Their animosity reached a boiling point, resulting in a physical altercation followed by 2 weeks of complete silence between the two. "He was childish and impossible," Schumacher later remarked, adding, "I pray I don't work with them again," referring to both Kilmer and his co-star Tommy Lee Jones. The production was further complicated by Kilmer's personal struggles. Deep in a messy divorce with actress Joanne Whalley, he juggled custody battles and disputes over assets while filming. This undoubtedly added fuel to his volatile on-set demeanor. Although Batman Forever performed well at the box office, reviews were mixed, and Kilmer didn't return for the sequel. Schumacher bluntly summed it up, "He sort of quit, we sort of fired him." Things only spiraled from there. In 1996, Kilmer starred in The Island of Dr. Moreau, a production infamous for its behind-the-scenes drama. Kilmer's erratic behavior clashed with original director Richard Stanley, leading to Stanley's dismissal. Kilmer's hostility continued with replacement director John Frankenheimer, who famously declared after shooting, "There are 2 things I will never do: climb Mount Everest and work with Val Kilmer again." The film tanked critically and commercially, earning Kilmer his first Razzie nomination and cementing his reputation as Hollywood's most difficult star. Even as Kilmer attempted to defend his actions, claiming a commitment to his craft, the damage to his reputation was undeniable. The fallout from Batman Forever and The Island of Dr. Moreau signaled the start of a decline in his career, with Kilmer transitioning from leading man to the subject of tabloid ridicule and industry blacklisting. More drama. Val Kilmer's career turmoil in the late 90s and beyond. Val Kilmer's behavior behind the scenes of his films continued to make headlines as the 1990s progressed, tarnishing his once bright Hollywood reputation. On the set of The Ghost and the Darkness, 1996, Kilmer starred opposite Michael Douglas, but his self-centered antics were reportedly in full swing. Writer William Goldman recalled hearing Douglas warn Kilmer about his behavior, suggesting that if he didn't shape up, his career could end up like Eric Roberts's or Mickey Rourke's, talented but sidelined by controversy. The film received mediocre reviews and box office numbers, doing little to counter Kilmer's mounting reputation as a liability. Next came The Saint, 1997, where Kilmer again brought his challenging demeanor. While the film performed decently at the box office, critics panned it, and Kilmer earned his second Razzie nomination. Around the same time, he lent his voice to The Prince of Egypt, 1998, a brief reprieve from the mounting negativity. But by 1999's At First Sight, Kilmer was back to struggling with flops. His ability to draw audiences was fading, and studios were beginning to lose patience with him. The stakes were high for 2000's sci-fi adventure Red Planet, a $80 million production where Kilmer snagged the lead role. However, his well-documented antics escalated yet again, this time involving a fiery clash with co-star Tom Sizemore. The conflict reportedly started over a trivial issue, an elliptical machine shipped to the Australian set for Sizemore, and spiraled into a heated argument. Kilmer reportedly shouted, "I'm making $10 million on this, and you're only making $2 Sizemore," incensed, was said to have thrown something at Kilmer before a producer intervened to prevent further escalation. Though tensions boiled over, the two actors eventually patched things up years later. When Red Planet finally hit theaters, it was a critical and commercial disaster, cementing Kilmer's status as a star in decline. The controversies surrounding his on-set behavior, coupled with his string of box office failures, made Kilmer an increasingly risky choice for leading roles. Even the documentary Val skimmed over this tumultuous period, opting not to include 200 hours of behind-the-scenes footage from the production, leaving many viewers hoping for more insights into this era disappointed. Red Planet marked a turning point, effectively closing the door on Kilmer's reign as a Hollywood A-lister. While he remained a talented and passionate actor, his reputation for being difficult, combined with a string of flops, shifted his career trajectory toward smaller projects and direct-to-DVD films. This period serves as a cautionary tale of how behind-the-scenes drama can overshadow even the brightest talent. Do you believe Kilmer's on-set behavior overshadowed his talent, or was he unfairly judged by Hollywood? Let us hear your opinion below. Downhill, did Val Kilmer deserve Hollywood's cold shoulder? As Val Kilmer's time as a leading man faded, his career trajectory became a series of ups and downs. Following the blockbuster days of Top Gun and Batman Forever, Kilmer found himself in a string of flops, like 2002's Hard Cash and 2004's Alexander, the latter of which earned him yet another Razzie nod. His performance in Spartan reignited chatter about his difficult behavior, as Kilmer clashed with director David Mamet and even roasted him on the DVD commentary. Despite the controversies, Kilmer showed sparks of brilliance. In 2005, he delivered a standout performance in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Although critically acclaimed, the film flopped at the box office, marking a turning point in Kilmer's career as he transitioned to more minor roles and a series of direct-to-DVD projects. However, it's worth noting that Kilmer didn't fully vanish from the spotlight. He created and performed in Citizen Twain, a one-man show about Mark Twain, earning glowing reviews. But his passion project was cut short in 2015 when he began battling throat cancer, eventually losing his voice after a tracheostomy. The documentary Val and his appearance in Top Gun Maverick 2022 brought his story back into focus, showcasing Kilmer as a fighter who refused to let health challenges define him. But the lingering question remains: did Kilmer truly deserve the backlash that led Hollywood to shut its doors on him? Yes, Kilmer's reputation as a diva precedes him. Stories of on-set clashes abound, from Batman Forever to The Island of Dr. Moreau. However, just as many peers have sung his praises. Co-stars like Mira Sorvino, At First Sight, and Robert Downey Jr., Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, called him professional, talented, and generous. Even producers like Jeffrey Katzenberg, the Prince of Egypt, spoke highly of his patience and dedication. Kilmer himself defended his so-called difficult behavior, arguing that it stemmed from his passion for making great films. Under the right directors, such as Michael Mann, Heat, Kilmer thrived, proving that with guidance and support, he could deliver unforgettable performances. While his rising salary, ego, and personal struggles, particularly his divorce from Joanne Whalley, undoubtedly played a role in his decline, Kilmer's immense talent and devotion to his craft remain undeniable. His career may have had its stumbles, but calling it a failure would be unfair. He left behind an extraordinary body of work that continues to resonate. What do you think? Did Hollywood's treatment of Val Kilmer fit the narrative, or was it an overreaction to an artist misunderstood? Share your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed this video into his career, don't forget to like, subscribe,